Have you ever wondered when a country actually collapses? Is it when tanks cross the border? When the capital falls? Or when people stop trusting money? History suggests something uncomfortable. Empires rarely collapse on the battlefield. They collapse when their money fails. In 1917, the Russian Empire was one of the clearest examples of this. It held one of the largest gold reserves on Earth. And within a very short time, that gold disappeared. There was no explosion, no burning treasury, no clear official explanation. Only trains, vaults, and then silence. Did the gold finance the Bolsheviks? Was it seized by foreign powers? Or is it still buried somewhere deep in Siberia? We don't know for sure. But we do know this. When the gold vanished, the empire could not survive. And this story is far more familiar than we like to admit. At the beginning of the 20th century, Russia was sitting on a mountain of gold. In 1914, just before World War I, the empire held more than 1,200 metric tons of gold in reserve, second only to France, more than Germany, Britain, and the United States combined. At the time, gold wasn't just an asset, it was the foundation of the entire system. Currencies were tied to it. Trust came from metal, not paper. The Russian ruble was respected precisely because of that gold. The government could borrow. It could import. It could fund massive armies. The world believed one simple thing. Every banknote was backed by something real. Then the war began, and everything changed. From 1914 onward, Russia mobilized millions of soldiers. The cost was staggering. Military spending tripled in just 2 years. Weapons were needed, ammunition, railways. Much of it had to be imported, and imports were paid for in gold. The gold left the vaults. It flowed west, to allies, to banks, to creditors. At the same time, the government began printing far more paper money than its remaining reserves could ever support. They hoped no one would notice. But people always notice. Inflation surged, food prices exploded, wages fell behind. For ordinary people, life became unbearable. Strikes spread. Bread lines turned into riots. By 1917, the problem was no longer just the war. The entire system was breaking. The February Revolution forced Tsar Nicholas II to abdicate. 300 years of Romanov rule ended. A weak provisional government took power. And one question suddenly mattered more than any other. What would happen to the gold? Some of it was moved out of Petrograd. Trains loaded with bullion headed east toward Siberia. They were guarded by soldiers whose loyalties were already uncertain. Some gold was sent abroad, to London, Paris, even Japan, as collateral for loans, but a large portion simply vanished from the records. When the Bolsheviks seized power in October 1917, they inherited only a fraction of what had once been one of the largest gold reserves in the world. And that's where the mystery deepens. Lenin understood something very clearly. Ideology alone doesn't feed armies. Revolutions survive on money. Whatever gold remained was sold, traded, or exchanged for survival. It financed the Red Army. It bought food, coal, and weapons. It was used to secure recognition abroad. But Western intelligence reports all said the same thing. The Bolsheviks were controlling far less gold than should have existed. Hundreds of tons were missing. Some of it likely fell into the hands of the White Armies during the Russian Civil War. In Siberia, Admiral Kolchak controlled a massive gold stockpile. At one point, more than 500 metric tons. But when the Bolsheviks captured him in 1920, the gold was gone. Some of it was stolen. Some was shipped abroad in exchange for weapons. Some was looted by officials and foreign mercenaries. And some of it was never seen again. Even today, stories persist of gold trains disappearing into the Siberian wilderness, of crates dumped into frozen lakes, of secret shipments reaching foreign ports. Whether those stories are true or not, the outcome didn't change. By the early 1920s, Russia's gold reserves were a shadow of their former size. The ruble collapsed. By 1921, it took thousands of rubles to buy a single loaf of bread. Money stopped working. People returned to barter. Trust evaporated. And this wasn't unique to Russia. Rome diluted its silver. Weimar Germany printed its marks. Russia lost its gold. Different methods, same result. Ordinary people were ruined. Those close to power survived. And crises became moments when wealth quietly changed hands. So why does this matter today? Because the same dynamics are still at work. Reserves are frozen. Gold is quietly moved between vaults. Central banks create trillions with a keystroke. Money is no longer just economic. It is political power. And once again, ordinary people pay the price. The lesson of 1917 is simple, but uncomfortable. Wealth built on trust can vanish overnight. Paper promises are fragile. And those who control money ultimately control people. The disappearance of Russia's gold isn't just a historical mystery. It's a warning. Because history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes with terrifying precision. If this story gave you a chance to see things from a different perspective, subscribe to the channel. History doesn't just tell us about the past. It also shows us what we cannot afford to ignore.